Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Larry Allen Smith, and I'm the Dean of the Hart School. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and thank you to those who are joining us via the live stream. The David Macbride Memorial Concerts have enabled us to remember David's life and work in a most meaningful way. I am extremely grateful to Professor Robert Carl for curating these performances. Robert, not only did you introduce David's music to more people, and especially our newest students, but in the process, you reminded all of us that David Macbride was an artistic force who could stir our emotions, make us laugh, engage our imaginations, and compel us to think, act, and listen. Please join me in thanking Robert Carl for pulling these concerts together with such care. We have had many Hart alumni with us this week, and that continues to be true this evening. Their presence has been a testament to David's impact on their lives. Welcome home to all of you, and thank you for being here. I also want to thank the members of the Hart faculty for their involvement. Ben Toth's contributions deserve special mention. Thursday's concert was an incredibly moving experience that will be remembered for a very long time. And to our students, thank you for what we are about to experience. Tonight's work epitomizes the deep commitment David had to building a sense of community through the arts. We will all be given a special opportunity to join together as a community for this performance. As many of you know, David's family has been with us for these concerts. Thank you so much for being here. To David's children, Alma and Jimmy, I want to express our love for you. Hart is a family, and you will always be a part of this family. Following tonight's performance, the Macbrides are hosting a reception at their nearby home in West Hartford. Everyone is invited to attend. As you depart the hall, our ushers will be able to provide you with the address. Robert Carl and I also have copies of the address for those who would like to attend. Finally, thanks to the generosity of David's family, please feel free to take a copy of one or more of the David Macbride CDs that are on the table in the lobby. And if you are able, please make a contribution to the Allen Library. The proceeds will be used to purchase music in David's honor. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for us to receive our instructions. Please join me in welcoming conductors James Jackson and Andrey Stolyarov.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all being here today. It's a great day to remember David. Like the dean said, this week has been truly spectacular. To be moved by such a genius who lived among us. The percussion concert that I attended, every single piece was moving. Every piece was different. And he treated percussionists like they're musicians, not drummers, which was a testament to his brilliance and to his dedication to musicianship and participation. Today is a day that is really special because no other time in this lifetime will we all be here in this place at the same time. Think about that for a moment. This is truly special, truly amazing. David had that power to bring people together, to laugh, to cry, to meditate, to sing, and to participate. He was a man of the community through his actions, his words, and his music. So I want to say a few thank yous before we get started. First, I want to thank the family for being here today. Your presence has truly been inspiring to us. Your inspiration for David to make music was what he used to inspire us. So we thank you for your inspiration to David. Dean Larry Allen Smith. Some deans are directors. He's a leader. And I don't know how he does it, but he's all over the place. China, West Coast, East Coast, North, South. He has the energy of 20 people. And he does what he does in a way that is nourishing and focuses on the community, the heart community, which is so special to us. So thank you for your leadership. Robert Carl and David came in around the same time here. They were really close, really good friends, and Robert took it on to be the curator of these concerts, and what an excellent job. I couldn't be more proud to be a Heart family member because of what you've done to curate David's legacy and memory. Thank you, Robert. My dear best friend, Glenn Acid. There's not many people in this world who can take a situation, see what happens, throw a name here, bring this person together, come between, think about so many things on so many different levels and solve all these problems in the blink of an eye. He is truly an amazing person. He is my inspiration, and this here today has to do a big part with him and his thinking and his leadership. So thank you, Glenn. Really appreciate it. Doris Kozlov, my dear friend, you came through when we needed you. Thank you so much for lending your expertise and your suggestions on soloists. Thank you so much. My right-hand man, which today will be my left-hand man, Andrey Stolyarov, who rehearsed the choir, got the choir together, got them dancing and singing in 7/8, which you will get to do soon, so get ready. We're gonna have a little session of practice, so don't be afraid. You're surrounded by vocalists who's gonna guide you and give you the confidence you need to be an active participant. So Andre, thank you so much for all your work. No band director or orchestra director could survive without a manager, and we have the best manager here, Noah Matuzzi. Thank you so much. Looking through parts at 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock in the morning, and I send a text to Noah, and then 5 minutes later he answers me back. And I'm thinking, why is he still awake? Why am I still awake? But he was there. So thank you, Noah. Kevin Hart and his staff, Leif Ellis, TJ Spinato, Alex Botzi. Thank you for all your work in transforming Lincoln through all these concerts. We know you work hard, you're behind the scenes, but we appreciate what you do. When we premiered this piece in 2014 with David, and at the performance, the parts went with David. And then when we wanted to remember him by doing this piece, this magnus opus work, we had to find the parts. So Leif Ellis went into the Macbride archives and extracted parts and changed parts from Sibelius files into other files so that we could actually make PDFs to print out for rehearsal and for the performances. Leif, thank you so much. It was a lot of work and really appreciate it. And like any Renaissance man, Leif Ellis does a lot of stuff here. Not only did he extract the parts in the files, but he also, with Justin Kurtz, prepared the video that you're gonna see really soon. So thank you for that as well, Leif. Our soloists, Shantice Marshall, Annalise Ehlers, Anna Kugler, and Meredith Newman. Thank you for lending us your talents. Thank you so much. You'll hear them later. I also like to thank Meredith again for lending us Camerata to be our choir. So thank you. One of the very first people I met when I got here was a percussionist named Jesse Metch. He's a great friend of David. He actually has one of David's cats. And his name is Metch, but he won't tell me how to pronounce it because he likes that. So Jesse volunteered his time to come in and recreate what we did the first time with the percussionists. So you see behind you, there's a setup of percussion here, and there's a setup of percussion here. Jesse came in and rehearsed and brought his insight so that we could have a spectacular presentation from the percussion section that's going to enhance the performance. So thank you, Jesse. Brandon Dix, trumpet extraordinaire, he transformed some parts for us from horn parts to euphonium parts so we can have inclusive parts tonight. So Brandon, thank you for your talents and your hard work. I think I still owe him some sarsaparilla or something like that, but thank you. Thanks, Brandon. Leonard Breton, our ops and logistics manager, thank you so much for getting it all together with transportation of equipment and make sure we had the right stuff on stage. Thank you, Leonard. And last and definitely not least, Walter Gibson and Lanier Wong. They actually prepared your score. So if you don't have a vocal score with you right now, they're located in the lobby. You'll need them for the rehearsal. So they printed out all these copies, collated them, extracted parts as well. So I want to thank them publicly for all their hard work. Thank you. So I'm done talking, and we're going to start to rehearse. But first, we have a video that I'd like you to see.
Music for a Large Space is one of the number of works I've composed which are audience-centered. As you can read in the program notes, the idea for this piece was born a few years ago, and it has evolved in circuitous ways since. I'd like to cite three influences on this piece. Pete Seeger, whose life centered on communal song and its power in elevating social consciousness, and who, as you know, passed away earlier this year. Among the many things he said and did, there are two quotes that stand out for me. He said, "I'd really rather put songs on people's lips than in their ears, and there's no such thing as a wrong note as long as you're singing." Second influence is John Cage, the American composer, whose work was not about self-expression, but about self-alteration. His creative concept of non-intention as a means of framing his music from memory, taste, likes and dislikes, often used elements of chance in the compositional process, which he likened to writing on water. He loved sounds for their own sake, like the sound of traffic or nature, his favorite being the sound or sounds of silence. In an interview late in his life, he said, "I notice both in writing and in speaking that many people are gloomy about the present circumstances, and it isn't my nature to be gloomy. I have been so long in reading and thinking of James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake. Here comes everybody, and I think our experiences more and more are populated not only with more people, but with more things that strike our perceptions. We live in a time, I think, not of mainstream, but of many streams, or even, if you insist upon a river of time, that we have come to a delta, maybe even beyond the delta to an ocean, which is going back to the skies." I'd be remiss not to mention the Hungarian composer György Ligeti, whose Le Grand Macabre of the 1970s grand opera in the absurdist tradition had a major impact on a lot of this piece. I've also been studying Meredith Monk's work recently, and the vocal writing in this piece is influenced by hers. For those of you who do not recognize her name, Monk is a singular artist who defies categorization. She composes, sings. Apparently she started singing before she started talking, choreographs and dances, makes films and much more. And first and foremost, she is a storyteller. A couple words about my background and present concerns. Being Eurasian, my mother was Chinese, but with a Scottish surname, I have seldom been viewed as being part Asian, and consequently have tended to play down that aspect of my heritage. Presently, I find myself on a search for my own cultural identity, and have become more comfortable with being direct in personalizing recognizable Eastern styles and aesthetics. So in this piece, you will hear elements of Asian sound music together with more Western sound themes. still have a couple more things to say before you guys start rehearsing. Did you hear that? You're rehearsing, so I need you to take part. This piece is about serious fun. There's humor mixed with contemplation, which is realized collectively in a kind of ritual. Music for a large space is about the space, place we find ourselves in at present, the acoustic and rhythmic qualities of this church, one's known space, both physical and emotional, the connections we have to each other, and to the larger forces which surround us, all of which form a kind of union. This connection is ongoing. Even though we are just listening, we are active participants, mindful. One of the wonderful things about music is that we each bring our own story to whatever music we experience. So a single piece communicates a myriad of pure personal stories, each as unique as the individual listener. So here, each of us is an active creator, telling and weaving our own histories into this present activity.
So the time is near where we shall practice. But before we do, I want to make sure that everyone has a vocal score and everyone picked up stones on the table. Did everyone have stones? Excellent, beautiful, I love it, awesome. So the people on my far right and my far left, I'd like to invite you up here into the VIP seats. Come on. Because we want you to be a part of the full effect of what it sounds like to have the sound enveloping you as opposed to being on the outside of the sound. So I'd like to invite you to come up to the seats here. And these are the VIP seats, by the way. They cost a lot. I'm paying the tab on those, so come on up. Also, I encourage you when we leave today, I encourage you to take your stones with you and put them in a place that every time you walk past them, you remember David. So please take them with you. Now I'd like to invite Andrey up to start the rehearsal.
Good evening. So my name is Andrey, and I'll be leading you through our choir rehearsals. I'm going to raise this up a little bit. Much better. So the audience, you are an integral part of this piece. As you heard David say before, there is no wrong note here as long as you're present with us. Your participation is going to make this piece of music a community experience that we will never forget. So, if you have your vocal scores, please open up and turn to the first meditation, and I will start walking you through what you will be doing. If I can ask my quartet to please come up to the mics, that would be great. So throughout the score, you're going to see markings for right and left. Basically, if it says right, that means if you sort of divide the room right down the middle of this aisle, if you are on this side, you are on the right. You are stage right, okay? So this is going to be stage right, hello. And on that side, you're going to be stage left. So if you're on that side, you are going to be left, okay? Right, left. So now you know your parts, excellent. There are other parts that are split up for men and women. And yes, very good. So the first meditation, you're going to hear the female quartet start us off. So can you just give us a sample of what this sounds like, please?
Sakura, Sakura, Sakura.
Got that? Here we go. So let's try it all together. All together. Here we go. So this is going to be all the women in the audience. And men, you can join in with your part slightly different. Yes, this is letter K at the first meditation. Here we go.
Sakura, Sakura,
pauses between these sections. So really listen to each other, listen to the silence, and then we keep going. So we're going to do this a few times, and then at letter L, the music changes ever so slightly, and the men, you have a moment. So it basically is going to sound like Kura, Kura. So can I have the men at letter L, and vocalists, male vocalists, please help out here. So here we go. And the quartet, can you sing these parts with us at letter L?
Yeah.
So here we go. 1, and go.
So. So.
Develops as we go from there. So this section will take us through right before letter M. So what I'd like to do now is actually run this entire section together, starting from 4 before K. Here we go. Are you ready? Don't be shy now. Let's do this.
Sakura, 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 Sakura,
That's pretty good. You're hired. Absolutely. Well done. Okay, the next section is going to be a round. Now, it's not going to be a traditional round where we all stay in time. What's going to happen is that our quartet here is going to begin singing for us, and they're going to be in time up until the bottom of the page. At the bottom of the page, we're going to start to introduce the voices. And you can start in time and then gradually just sort of branch out. Maybe go a little slower, maybe go a little faster. And this section is going to simulate the falling leaves of the cherry blossom tree. And it's going to overwhelm us with the amount of different petals falling to the ground. So we're going to have this beautiful moment here. Let's just practice this. It's going to go on for quite some time, so we're going to have an abridged version now. So let's hear what this sort of sounds like first.
Isa, Yai, Yai, Isa, Yai.
Great, so you got that? So now I'd like all of the women, and if the men want to join in that higher register, that's great too. So let's all try that. And then when I'm going to motion to you, I'm going to cue you in. And just start to slowly drift away on your own time, whenever it feels right. So let's try this now. good. So we're going to do that for quite some time. Then we are going to get to the men's part. And how we're going to cue this, so the men, you're going to do everything in time. Okay, we're going to be completely in time, completely metered. I'm going to give you 4 different symbols. I'm going to give you a number 1, a number 2, a number 3, and a fist. Okay? So the number 1 is going to be the first time through, and you can start to come in. You don't all have to come in at once, but we're going to basically go a little stronger each time. So with each passing number, you're going to increase your volume, men. Okay? And the women, while the men are singing this, we are going to gradually go away. We're just going to go softer and softer until we no longer are heard. And by the time that the men are doing their last time through, the women should be finishing and not singing anymore. Okay? And then we'll finish the round. So men, your part sounds like this. Ka, ma. So can we sing this together? Ka, ma. Fantastic, very good. So when we're going to be done with those 4 times through, I'm going to give you 2 cues. I'm going to give you a ka, ma, and I'll hold that for a while, and then we'll go away, and then we'll be finished. So can we try that? Can we have this sakura thing happening? Let's do the izas, and then I'll cue the men 4 times, and then we'll practice that end. So let's just, all the women, pretend that you have already come in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Isa,
And women start to decrescendo. 3. Not all at once, though.
Thoughts, etc. When you are ready, take out your stones. When you deem it necessary, play them, really listening to their sound. We don't have to practice that yet. Not yet. We'll have time. It's okay to be aware of your sound in relationship to the whole sound, okay? So listen. Stop playing at any time and just listen. You are still playing when listening. So gradually stop playing as others stop playing. Listen. The first meditation ends with the beginning of invocation. Put away your stones and be seated. So after you've said everything you need to say with your stones, and you're done playing, you're gonna put your stones away and you have a seat. And when more people feel like they've done and said what they need to say, they'll put their stones away and be seated. And once everyone is seated and we have silence, we'll go into the next section. So we don't need to practice stones right now. Let's keep it a surprise, okay? You may be seated.
The next section that you will be involved in is at letter Q. And we're not going to practice this whole thing through, but I just want to get a sense of what you can do with this, with the sounds here. So at Q, we're going to have right vocalists, and we're going to have left vocalists, okay? So I'm going to gesture to the right, and you're all going to give me your best demonic ha-ha-ha's. Here we go. So it's going to basically sound ha-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha, okay? Got that? Here we go. Ready? And. Awesome. Wow. I think we can try it with the winds. Here we go.
Here's Q. Here's Q. Winds. Q. Yes. All right. Good. Good. Excellent. Let's try that again.
Yeah.
Let's try that again. So you get the idea. There's a mixed meter there. If you're listening for the percussion, you'll pick up when the times change. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Let's try it again. That was pretty good for a first time through. Here's Q again, please. Q. Yes. Okay. Excellent.
Very good. Now the next part. The men only. Screaming, Darth Vader, I am your father. Let's do it. Can we try it? Here we go. Ready? And. I am your father. That's pretty good. Can we try that with the winds?
Here's R with the winds, please. I am your father. Yes, very good. Excellent. Good.
So the next part is going to be at letter V. And you're going to have to yell and clap, okay? So maybe have your scores on your laps, perhaps. So it's going to start with the women doing the claps, and then it's going to be the men who answer, and then we all do it together. So it's going to sound like this. Hey, 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 hey. Can we try it together? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey. And it's sort of like flamenco, so be a little sexy with it, okay? Can we try it with the winds?
Winds, V, please. V. V. Any flamenco dancers in the audience? So that's the attitude you should have as you're going. Okay, so more energy. That's right. One more time. One more time. So not too fast. B. Ready? And.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, we got a few more things together. The next part is going to be at letters DD, and this is the ballpark chant. So, we're going to have a call and response with our choir vocalists and our audience vocalists. So we're going to start with the men, and it's going to basically sound like A-O-A, and you all would respond with A-O-A. Great, and then I'll go A-O, 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 A-O-A. Nice job, nice job. So, and then we do it together. So can we try that? So this is all the men in the audience. Here we go. So vocalists, please. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Together. Great, nice job. Now, women, Anna, can you help me out with this one, please? So you're gonna have Anna here who is gonna demonstrate oh, you can come right here. So this is what you're gonna do for this section.
So ladies, you're gonna go.
Fantastic. So, thank you, Anna. We're going to do this whole thing from DD, and we're going to go up until GG. Yeah. So here we go. We're going to start with the men, and then we're going to have everybody together. Let's do this. So, this?
So I will have you stand in this section, so please stand. Yes.
At DD trombones, can you help out for the first pitches?
So before we start, let's have a cacophony of sound, please. Hear the cacophony of sound.
Excellent job. Now this next section, so you're going to start with OMG, TMI, you are crazy, so am I. And you're going to do this in strict tempo. Don't let it get too crazy too quickly, okay? When you feel like you're ready, you'll move on to the next section. O am I, so am I, O am I, so, and you're gonna keep going, and you're gonna keep cycling through all these sections until at the very end you're just losing your mind and going, oh, yo, and you're gonna watch for a huge cutoff, and then it's gonna be the end of that. So, I don't know if we need to practice that one. We can save that one for later.
So the last section that requires audience participation, you're almost there. You're doing a great job, by the way. Great job. It's Cartoons 2. What you're going to hear It's the percussion throwing sounds from the front of the stage to the back of the hall. And that will happen a few times. Okay, so that'll happen a few times, and all of a sudden, you'll see someone stand up and raise their hand, which will be Hannah. Oh, you'll be seated at this point, by the way. You're going to sit down, thank you. You'll be seated. You'll see Hannah, she'll raise her hand. So what Hannah's going to do is she's going to throw a sound from up here to the back of the stage, and on her cue, when she throws, you're supposed to say any sound you want to, but it has to be a short, succinct sound. Like, hey, or what, or oh, E, anything you want to. And then once that happens, she throws that sound. You're going to follow the sound, and you're going to do a 180 and turn around to the back percussion section. And then you'll see Chris. He'll raise his hand. Actually, I told a lie. I don't lie too often, but I did tell a lie. You will still be standing for the session because you can't turn around without standing. So please stand. Sorry. So Hannah will throw a sound, and when she throws a sound, you'll turn around, and you'll see Chris with his hand raised up. Then Chris will throw a sound. On his command, you'll make another short, and you turn around, right? And that'll happen a few times. Yes. Excellent. I think you got the idea. You're having way too much fun. Way too much fun. Way too much fun. And in the middle of that time, you hear the instrumentalists will be having conversations through their instruments, speaking without words but with sounds. And it will be a mess of sound. It'll be awesome. Then I will give a big cutoff, and then you can be seated. Great. I think, is that it? I think you're ready. So if you need to get a score or some stones, I'll give you about 2 minutes to go do that. We're out of score. So find a friend, real quick, find a friend. If you need stones, grab some stones, and then we'll get started. Yes.
So
So